All right, welcome to kitchen design. Right, we are going to put the finishing touches from start to finish on this kitchen. Right, we're going to dig into all the details, which are super important, so that I'm going to provide you with the information you need to build out a kitchen to make it look great. Right, so first, our model should be, our walls should be in its own group. Right, the way we do that, or the reason we do that, is to protect the wall modeling from other models sticking to it. In this regard, that's what is important for the kitchen design, because we're going to put a counter on the floor and we don't want that blending with the models. All right, so let's get started on that. So what we're going to do is we look at our floor plan here, right? We have our kitchen, right? So our counter is going to go here. It's going to wrap around to just about the door. It's the door. It looks like the door swing kind of just there's a good amount, let's say a foot or two of space there between the door and the end of the counter. So let's jump back over here. So to build that in, same thing. We have about 6 to 8 inches, on that door over here. So what we need to do, first thing we need to do, we can be more specific. We can say, let's say 8 inches. Right? And see how this is not something we've done yet, right? So we place the point, right? I don't really place too many points because I don't want my model to junked up. I always delete what you don't need. But in this case, we're going to need that point, right? So then we're going to go out on the red. The red's very important because we know what direction it's going to go, right? It's going to go parallel, right, in this way. So zoom back in. Now the next thing, how deep is your counter, right? What is the counter depth? We know the counter depth is about 25 inches, 24, 25 inches. We're going to say 25 inches. Hands off the mouse. We have a free pencil, 25 inches. Enter. And we're going to go, let's take it all the way down. Now remember, because we're in a group, we have to complete the shape and verify that the surface creates one surface. So now notice how it's kind of like white there. Right? It looks like there's two things intersecting. It's because there are. There's two surfaces intersecting. Fortunately, this is grouped, so it's not going to blend together. We don't want that. We want the counter piece. We want that counter model that we're making to be totally separate than the floor. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we look on the floor plan. It says that it looks like we're about like a minimum of a foot away from the door. So what we're going to do. 1 foot, and use that point, and see how we get the circle. Right, it goes from nearest or on edge to guide point. On the green, 25 inches. On the red back, boom, boom. So because these are not grouped separately, they're going to connect, which is okay. We're going to delete this line in the middle, so now it's all one piece. Right, next. So we have all of this here. We're going to pull up the counter height, right? What is counter height? Well, even though it's a tiny home, the human stays the same. The human doesn't get smaller, the house does. So the average height, or the required height of a counter, most tables, things like that, surfaces that humans work on are about 3 feet. And you'll notice throughout kitchen design that, or just really design in general, 3 feet, for working space is a pretty good height. Tables, things like that. Chairs are 18 inches, so it's half that height. Right? So it looks like our window is sitting right on that edge. Now, I don't like that because you can easily have something go out that window. We'll see how that plays out. It also limits the opportunity for a backsplash. So we might have to raise these windows or lower the counter, which is also not ideal. So we're going to have to see what we can do there. Next. Right, so now this is all one piece. So what I want to do is I just want to right click. I want to make that into its own group. Now the countertop is its one piece, but we have some details to add. So one of the most important things that you do not realize is one of the most important things is something called a toe kick, right? And so that's located in the bottom of the cabinet. So that's generally, right, a nice 6 inches, about 4 inches on the depth. So we're going to push in 4 inches. You might not see a point, but it's there. We're going to go up 6 inches. I'm back on the red. Now, this needs to be cut out all the way. Right? There you want to get a toe kick like that. 6 inches on the height might be a little tall. So I'm going to pull that back. I'm going to bring it down to 4 inches. So again, endpoint, vertical, 4 inches. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, good. Now, notice how it left a line. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right, so I'm going to delete this line because that's going to mess with our push-pull. So again, 4 inches back. Right line. Vertical, 4 inches. The more you get used to SketchUp, the faster your fingers can move, right? So I'm just using hotkeys, right? P for push-pull, T for tape measure, M for move. Very obvious, very straightforward. S for scale. All right, so now our counter is looking a little bit better. You might be saying, I need some counter thickness, countertop thickness. Right, so let's hit that. So we're going to go down. Or offset this down. Now, one of the things I want you to notice, if we look at the bottom of the screen here, it gives you push control to toggle copy. Right, auto fold on it, you have to use that function, and toggle lock, right? Again, I don't really use that function. I use the copy to lock. So we click here, go down on the blue. Now, the thickness of the countertop is approximately, and I would say minimum, 1 inch. Lately, there's been a design trend to push the thickness of your marble, of your quartz, up to maybe about like 3 inches. So 1 inch of thickness, maybe 1.5 is kind of nice too. But now we want to bring this over, right, on the red. Here we go. So we want to get some offset space. Now we could push this in, but that's going to reduce our toe kick distance. We could pull this out, right, but that would increase our countertop height. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push this in about 2 inches. Okay? Now I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to push this in 2 inches also. Right, so now we still maintained our 4. We get a 2 inch offset there. We're going to do a 2 inch offset there. We're going to bring this in 2 inches this way. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to, right, so I could pull this here. We want to get countertop on all sides. So I could push this in, but see how it like moves the whole thing? We need to create a line, create some separation. Right, here's some separation. Now you have 2 separate spaces. Push this in 2 inches. Now we're getting a little more edge, I think. So I think 2 inches might be a little generous. So I'm actually going to dial that back. So I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to Control Z all of that. And do it again. So don't hate me too much. Okay, so move in 1 inch. Boom. Move this in 1 inch. Boom. Move this in 1 inch. 1 inch. But look how easy that is to modify that. Okay, double click to repeat the last push-pull command. Push P, double click, 1 inch. Now a little nicer, right? Now you're not going to break off the edge of your countertop. All right. Now, what else? You might be wondering, right? And I think this should work. This tool is, well, you'll see. Right? Can we round that edge? That's what I want to know. You know. Right? See how it's like a nice square edge? Can we round that edge? Well, we're going to need an anchor point. So, probably want to go here. Right? See that square, that 1 inch square that we created? I wonder if midpoint. Midpoint. bunch of different arc tools. We have arc there. Do the 2-point arc. We could try that. Yeah, there we go. Change it. 2-point arc. Boom, love it. Alright, so then if I take, so I was at the 2-point arc. So then if I just pull that down, it is great. Right piece, right? So see how that gets limited? Right? It creates like a rounded countertop. There's another feature which this should apply. Follow me tool. It's a little tricky sometimes because it's not really sure what to follow. But and also SketchUp does not like curve surfaces whatsoever. But yeah, this is gonna work out. So you see this red line. It's gonna take a line. So just doing the push pull. And then we can turn the corner, which is revolutionary. Right? This is like when you get into SketchUp, like this becomes like a world-class feature. We're kind of getting stuck in our model here, so let's focus. Right, but look at it. It comes around and to the end. Look at it. So if we zoom in real close, look at that rounded edge. Wow. Rounded edge. I know. But I digress. Right, so now it looks great. Maybe we could actually, let me just, you probably really want to do that on the end because I believe I could go keep that going around the end. So you want to get that top edge, boom, boom, and even bring it around to the edge there. Yeah, let me try that again so you can see it. Going where we start, boom, right, bring it here, and then bring it this way. There you go. So now we have all of this edge rounded. Look at that. It's kind of nice. It's a nice class feature, right? I like it. All right, so now let's finish this up. I know I'm leaving this edge square. If I really wanted to get fancy, right, which I could, right, I would pull it out and I would start that follow me over here. I guess we should do that, right? Really dial in this point, right? Provide all the value. So because this countertop is in its own group, we can handle our model a lot more precise, right? Move it out on the red. Now, same setup, right? We're going to use the 2-point arc, right? Boom. Here we go. Square. 2-point arc. Midpoint. Midpoint. Tangent. See how it's purple? Gotta get that tangent purple. Perfect. So now we pull it out so we can see. Maybe zoom in so we can get our start point. Follow me tool. Boom. Zoom out so you can see our full. We should be able to. So now this is okay. Sometimes it to go a little slower for the follow me tool. Let me center that for you. There we go. Perfect. Look how nice that is, right? High quality model. And then we just click on the free space to unclick or deselect. Move back on the red to that point. All right, look at that. Quite nice, quite nice. So that's the follow me tool. That's a little modify, set up your counter. Last thing you have to do is you have to add the kitchen cabinet doors. So that's to get that detail, right? Because that's a bit of work to get that detail. Kitchen cabinet. And we can pull the kitchen cabinet face. Do we have a kitchen cabinet face? All right, so look at these cabinets, right? So they give you everything. I'm going to choose this John C model. And I'm going to drop it in the free space. I can easily, right, this guy already made it. And this guy did a great job. Johnson did a great job. So, but he didn't separate the door from the cabinet. So that's unfortunate. Well, we could make our own door. But that's essentially what he did. So we could do that. Or we could stick to the plan and find our cabinet door. Right, kitchen cabinet door. So that's basically what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. So that's the setup for the kitchen. We can also do the same thing for the upper cabinets. You can pull them from warehouse, or we can, create our own. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll go from there. All right, talk soon.